This is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful central Illinois. And today our question comes to us from SomeRandomPagan. And SomeRandomPagan asks if I can speak to the conflicting ideologies that we find in modern paganism. And he specifies, and I have my computer here to look at, an example might be someone who has two patron deities from different cultures who stand for different things on opposite spectrums, or someone who mixes two beliefs that have different views on how the world works. And my answer to this, leaving aside existential questions about the nature of universal versus personal deity, is that I have often said that I am open to many different ideas about deity, but one idea I'm not open to is the idea that deity is less than myself. And I find a lot of people seem to have the idea that certain deities cannot work together, deities from certain cultures cannot work together. I find this rather silly for a couple of reasons, one of which is experience, but the other of which is again that idea of being less than myself. I can and have worked with people from different cultures without any great difficulty. I can and have worked with people I did not agree with on important subjects, and occasionally people I did not like. And I was able to put these things aside and focus on what needed to be done. How could a god be less? If I can do this as a person, surely a god can do the same. People talk about the idea that deities from two cultures that were rivals 2,000 or 3,000 years ago could not work together today. Well, the US and Soviet Russia were rivals just a couple of decades ago, but look at the US and Russia today. Well, all right, maybe that's not the best example, but if you look at the last several decades, you'll notice how the relationship between the two countries has changed. Or you can look at France, which was once one of our strongest allies, but has frequently come to strong disagreements with us in recent years. And if we can have this kind of fluctuation in our relationships on a national and cultural level, surely a deity would notice the changes and roll with them over the course of centuries. A good example is people often suggest that tribal German and tribal Celtic gods could not possibly get along. Well, you know, neither the German tribes nor the Celtic tribes are there now. And I would think that the deities would have noticed that. A deity by nature must be greater than ourselves, and that would mean that they must be able to work together to overcome prejudices or limitations much more easily than we ourselves can. So why some people think that they couldn't is frankly beyond me. And what I would say is that every person's path is personal to them. And the nature of their interaction with deity, whether we're talking about universal or personal deity, is unique to them. And I have found in my experience that even two people who work with the same deity may have drastically different experiences of that deity, and this is only to be expected because the people themselves are different. So of course their relationship will be different too. So the main thing I would say is that it's not been my experience that these things cannot work together. I have certainly seen people for whom it can't work together, but I've seen many others for whom it can. And so I would say that what matters is if you understand what you're doing and it's working for you. And what someone else has to say about it in terms of whether they think it should work or not really is kind of irrelevant. So those are my thoughts on the matter. I hope you find them interesting, and until next time, may you blessed be.